So in Pakistan, there's this huge boom happening in the aesthetic industry. It promises flawless skin, instant transformations, you know the deal. But just beneath that glossy surface, there's a really dangerous, unregulated world that's putting thousands of people at risk. So let's break down how this all happened and why you should care.
So what's fueling this explosion? Well, it all kicks off with one number, 63%. That's the projected annual return on investment if you open a new aesthetic clinic. I mean, that's a huge return. It's just an incredibly profitable business to be in.
And get this, the barrier to entry, it's surprisingly low. The initial investment to set up a basic clinic is only around 1.7 million Pakistani rupees. That's way more affordable than, say, setting up most other kinds of private medical practices.
So you've got this low startup cost, right? Combine that with a crazy fast payback period of just over 2 years, and boom, you've basically got a gold rush on your hands. Everybody wants a piece of the action. But, and this is a huge but, there's a massive catch.
And here it is. This is the catch. In Pakistan, there's just no official government-recognized qualification for aesthetic medicine. None. What that means is, as long as you're careful not to call your business a medical clinic, pretty much anyone can open up an aesthetic center. And that huge regulatory gap, well, that's where all the danger starts pouring in.
Okay, so this leads us to the most important question, right? If it's not always doctors, then who in the world is holding the needle? Well, some recent raids by the Sindh Healthcare Commission uncovered a pretty shocking reality. The people they found holding the needles and the lasers, yeah, they are probably not who you think they are.
For instance, in one clinic, and this is in a fancy Karachi neighborhood, the person running the whole show, doing lasers and injectables, had a bachelor's degree in sociology. Yep, zero medical training whatsoever.
Then, in another place, they found a midwife doing PRP therapy. You know, the procedure where they draw your blood, process it, and then re-inject it? That is way outside the scope of what a midwife is trained to do.
And it keeps going. They also found a physiotherapist injecting facial fillers. I mean, that's a super delicate procedure. You have to know exactly where all the facial arteries and nerves are, knowledge they just wouldn't have.
And maybe the most alarming one of all? An individual whose highest qualification was literally just a high school diploma was found giving people Botox treatments.
I mean, this just shows a terrifying disconnect, doesn't it? We're not talking about simple beauty treatments here. These are serious medical procedures that involve your blood vessels, your nerves. They carry huge risks of infection, tissue dying, even severe allergic reactions. These are things that absolutely 100% require a doctor's training, period.
So what happens when you get this flood of unqualified people into a market? You get a crazy price war. And guess who pays the ultimate price? The unsuspecting customer.
Just look at these prices for a second. Botox for 5,000 rupees? That's what, like 18 US dollars? It's insane. There is just no way a qualified dermatologist using real, legally imported products can compete with that. To get prices that low, you have to be making some really, really dangerous compromises.
So, how do they get the prices so low? Well, it's pretty simple and pretty scary. On one hand, you have real doctors who invest in genuine products, follow strict sterilization protocols, all the important stuff. And on the other hand, you've got these clinics cutting every corner imaginable, buying fake Botox from who knows where, reusing needles, using knockoff machines, and just skipping sterilization.
And the results of cutting those corners? They're devastating. We're talking about botched fillers that leave people with permanent facial asymmetry, tissue literally dying and turning black, muscle paralysis from counterfeit toxins, and even difficulty breathing. These aren't just minor side effects. These are absolutely life-altering complications.
And it gets worse. Beyond just the immediate physical damage to one person, there's a much bigger public health crisis brewing here. When you reuse needles and cannulas to save a few bucks, you're creating a perfect pathway for spreading bloodborne diseases like HIV and hepatitis. And this is in a country that's already fighting major epidemics. It's a recipe for disaster.
And look, it's not just about the injectables. A lot of these clinics also use and sell cosmetic products for things like those glass skin facials you hear about. Get ready for this number. Studies have found that some of these local cosmetics have mercury levels, wait for it, 40,000 times above the safe limit. That's not a typo. And of course, these unqualified operators have zero understanding of toxicology or the long-term health risks of poisoning their clients.
Okay, so all of this, everything we've talked about, brings us to one fundamental, non-negotiable point. These procedures demand a fully qualified medical doctor. There's just no way around it.
And here's why. It's not just about getting the injection right. That's only half the battle. The other, arguably more important half, is having the training to manage a catastrophe when things go wrong. Think about it. Can someone with a sociology degree manage a vascular occlusion? That's when a blood vessel gets blocked and can lead to blindness. Can a midwife know what to do when a patient goes into anaphylactic shock, a severe allergic reaction that could literally stop them from breathing? The answer to all of this is a hard no. Only a doctor has that training.
And listen, this isn't some radical idea we're proposing here. Just look at the standards pretty much everywhere else in the world. In the UK, the US, the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, injectables are restricted to licensed physicians or maybe practitioners working right under a doctor's supervision. Pakistan's free-for-all approach is a massive and frankly dangerous global exception.
So, this brings us to the final and most essential takeaway. We have to fundamentally shift how we think about these treatments.
Let's be absolutely crystal clear about something. This is not just an extension of the beauty industry. Aesthetic medicine is a medical field. It deals with anatomy, pharmacology, infection control, and knowing how to handle an emergency.
And because it's medicine, it has to be held to medical standards. Simple as that. That means the person holding the needle must be a licensed MBBS doctor with the proper training to do it safely and handle anything that goes wrong. There is no substitute. None.
So, the next time you see one of those incredible deals, a super cheap filler or a discounted laser package, the question you've got to ask yourself is that bargain really worth risking your face, your health, and maybe even your life?